Hello, hello, hi, folks. welcome. Happy Thursday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com. And I welcome you to this live. This is a live that's going to be an interesting one. It's definitely going to be interesting because I'm going to run some ideas by you that you may not have heard or thought about, And but I'm excited to do that because I think I think this is going to be cool. I think you're going to like this. So, have you do you know anybody or have you run into anybody who has a case of OCD? What do they call it? Obsessive compulsive disorder. And they call it a disorder. Obsessive compulsive disorder where you're like super clean and like immaculate and you're dusting things off constantly, and there's things in the house, and it just you're super clean. I'll give you some examples in a second. Have you met anybody like that? If you haven't, if you know me, you know that I am like that. I'm gonna admit it. There's quite a few things that I gotta have. I'm super clean, organized, all this stuff, and I'll share some of this stuff with you. And some of you may think I'm nuts and crazy, which some of you have, and some of you have told me. So some of you may think I'm nuts and crazy, which is totally okay. You're not the first, and but some of you may think at the end of this life may think, may not be so bad after all. So this whole concept of OCD, T Money, what? Welcome. Good to see you, bro. So this whole concept of OCD, let me share with you a couple of thoughts about me. Okay, again, like some of you are gonna be like, what? So I live in an apartment, and the 2-bedroom apartment that I have, most of it is carpet. Okay, so and I start with this because this is my biggest one, if you know me. So I don't let shoes inside. So no shoes inside the apartment, and I'm very, very strict with that. There's just no exceptions. There's just none. Um, there's just no exceptions, right? You can wear sock. I have new socks, or I can give you if I have a friend who has a prosthetic leg, so he couldn't take his leg off, and I had to give him a shoe cover. So I've done that, but there's just no shoes inside. Okay, and I vacuum probably minimum twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, because I like to see. I'm gonna tell you, I like to see the lines in my carpet. Okay, so I told you, some of you guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I can't believe I'm actually sharing this stuff with like a gazillion people. So I like to see the lines on my carpet. Like if I show you the camera now, you can see lines on my carpet. I like that, right? I'm just going to give you a few. I'm not going to give you everything. I'm not going to give you everything. On Saturdays, once a week, I clean. I clean my apartment. Now, it's therapeutic for me. It's therapeutic. I do, if I need to do the kitchen and the refrigerator, then I do the refrigerator. Usually refrigerator is usually every 2-3 weeks, but every Saturday I spend a good, 2, 3, 4 hours, just everything back to normal, clean, because I cook a lot during the week, and I do my laundry, I do my shopping, my grocery shopping. So everything's like that Saturday, right? And I do this and like the lines, right? So, and I'm very particular. If you're gonna drink something, I'm very particular. You gotta have a coaster under your glass. I'm very particular. Um, let's see. I'm gonna give you some of these because I'm gonna give you some of my extremes, okay? And then I'm gonna share with you why I'm doing that. The other one is I think I've taken a picture of this before, but like my pantry and my refrigerator, everything that is in there is lined up, and the labels need to be facing forward. Like, let's say if I drink Pepsi, I'm not gonna lie. So let's say I have 3 cans of Pepsi. If you remove the two, that last one in the back still has the label facing forward. My pantry, all my spices, everything are all lined up, and they all have the labels facing forward. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna give you some of the extremes, right? The other one is no dishes left in the sink overnight, ever, ever, never. Like that's not even in the books of negotiations. Just none. No dishes in the sink. I usually clean up right after I eat, so I don't even think about it. Let's see. Like I said, I'm giving you some of my extreme ones, right? Now, why do I share this stuff with you? Now, I'll tell you this. I have lost relationships over this. Like, I'm not going to name who and when and all that, but I remember one was literally so not happy with me having lines on the carpet, you know? And here's the thing, I've never ever asked anyone to do it. Like my ex-wife or anybody I've lived with before, and if they ever see this and they can vouch for this, I've never asked a girl ever, just because you live here, you gotta clean. It's like a given. Like, why would I tell you? Like, we're not in kindergarten, right? So I'm not that guy. I would never tell somebody clean, cook, or do this or do that. I just do it, and if you contribute, then you contribute. If you don't, I do it. You know, it's just because that's how I do it, right? If my labels are off, I do it myself, so nobody can complain about. I just do it myself, right? Because I enjoy it when I open the fridge or I open my pantry. Everything's lined up, everything's there. I enjoy it, right? I know exactly what spice is at what location because I when I take it out to cook, I put it right back where it was. That's just how I do it. Now, I'm telling you, I've had relationships where they thought I was crazy. My mom thinks I'm crazy. Actually, my parents think I'm crazy. Kind of the whole family thinks I'm. Anyway, they think I'm crazy. They give me lectures about this all the time. They say, you know what, you gotta calm down with this OCD stuff. You gotta calm down with this lines on the carpet stuff. You gotta calm down with all these, okay? Well, and then when they come here, they brag about it, right? They enjoy it. They brag about it. They're like, oh my God, look at his pantry. Everything's lined up. Oh my goodness, look at his, refrigerator. Oh my goodness, look at his home. It's just always so clean. How do you think you get there? You gotta do it. Somebody's gotta do it. Elaine, Jenny, how are you? Welcome. I don't know how long you guys been here. Hopefully you guys been here a little bit, so hopefully you're enjoying this. This is all about the OCDs. If you got a Virgo in your life, it's probably this would this would apply. But I get lectures about this all the time. Like I've had relationships where I've been ridiculed for this. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna say when, and I'm not gonna say who. So there's no reference made to anybody. But I just don't. So, what is the whole thing about this OCD, right? Now, there's the other side, right? There's the other side that you just come in and you just take your clothes off and you just and you get up in the morning and you don't make your bed. You're like, I'll make it later, and then it's it's nighttime and the bed is not made, and you just go into it and just, and then you're like, you got a dish in the sink overnight. You're like, it's just one dish, and then the next night it's like two dishes, and you just like little stuff like that. You leave cups on wood and it gets ruined, and you're like complaining. You're like, that piece of crap, all this stuff, right? So there's people like that, and they're like, oh, you're too clean, you do this, oh my god, you put the labels in a row like that, oh my goodness, you do this, you do that. Now I'm going to share a thought with you, okay? Now, OCD to me, this is what it means. Now, I know it in the world, it's obsessive compulsive disorder. To me, it's official cleaning day. That's OCD. You heard it here first. Official cleaning day. That's my OCD. Now, here's my philosophy, okay? The world today, especially today, everybody's into like meditation and vegan and gluten-free and this free and that free and healthy this and healthy that. And oh my goodness, you got to read good books and calm your mind, and you just got to get into that whole, right? You do all this stuff, right? You're meditating, you're reading good books and all this stuff, and you're like not listening to the news, and you're listening to good music and all this stuff, right? And then you walk in your house, it's like a disaster. You open your fridge, it's like it's a mess. You go to your bedroom, there's clothes on the floor. You go to your kitchen, there's like slices of bread on the countertop. I'm sorry, am I the only one? Because that doesn't make any freaking sense to me. How can you be calming your mind, meditating, doing only vegetables, and then have a crappy old room that you can't even you're like, what? Is there anything walking around here? Oh, I don't care about my car. There's like bags of crap in your car, and there's like stuff growing on the passenger seat. It's like, how do you do that? Like how? And then you spend the whole entire time that you stare at it or you run at it, you spend the whole entire time cussing yourself out. You're like, oh man, I gotta clean this crap up. I gotta clean the kitchen. Oh my God, I gotta put these clothes in the laundry. Oh my God, I gotta wash my car. Oh my God, this pantry needs help. Oh my God, the fridge is a disaster. See, I don't spend any of that time thinking about that stuff. I don't. None. You can surprise me right now. Come in. People have. You can come in right now. Spell this. I mean, look, you can't be doing all this stuff and then, see, the thing is this. When you walk into somebody's home and it's clean, it's organized, it's peaceful, what do? You enjoy it. You're not, do you turn around and say, well, I hate this place. Man, this place is stinking clean. This place smells good. Man, I hate it. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. It doesn't matter if you have kids. It doesn't matter. I was waiting for that. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You can have 300 kids and 20 dogs. It doesn't matter. If you, and I'm going to get to that why it doesn't matter. I was so waiting for that, Jenny. I'm so glad I caught that. Doesn't matter. And here's the reason why. The thing is this. I don't know any other way. Okay? So when I come home and when I change my clothes, I don't know of any other way besides hanging my pants, throwing my shirt in the laundry, whatever it is, I throw it in the basket. I don't know any other way. When I don't know, I wouldn't even know how to throw it in the air. Like I'd be like, what do I like? I would even want to throw that like perfectly. Like I wouldn't even know what to do. Why? Because I've kept doing that over and over again. If I don't know any other way, guess how I would teach it if I had kids? The only way I know. Because when you give them the foundation, you don't have to worry when they're 50 years old. You give them the foundation. When you have a kid at 2 years old that can plug in an iPhone and charge it, he or she can very well put the clothes back aside. There's a video of a 6-year-old driving a Ferrari. Yeah. Does not matter. You teach, kids do exactly what they see. Doesn't matter what you tell them. This is the reason why. You could tell a kid until you're black and blue and they don't even listen to you. I don't have to have kids to know this. I've been a kid. So you can tell it all you want, black and blue, doesn't hear it. Somebody else comes and says it, and it's like, what? And they're all over it, right? Why? Because you keep saying it, but they don't see you doing it. It doesn't matter what you say. Kids will do what you do. I don't have to have kids to know that. It doesn't matter. I had a dog, and my house was spotless. I give my dog a bath every Saturday. People said it's too much. I said, well, when you get a dog, don't wash him. I mean, what else do you want me to tell you? Right? So you teach them the basics. Now here's the reason why, right? It takes more effort. It takes more space in your head to be unorganized and not clean than it does to be clean and organized. Because every time you see the stuff, you're going to just be like, oh my God, I got to clean this stuff. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. And constantly you're putting that in your subconscious. Constantly you're feeding it. Constantly, right? It takes a lot more effort. It takes a lot more effort for you to throw this in like that. And like, you're like, oh man, where did I put that water? Or me saying, oh, there's a label. Okay, I'm just going to put it right there and I know exactly where it is. And I never have to think about it again. See, you have to keep thinking about it. I don't. I don't have to think about the dust. I don't have to think about anything because I know every Saturday I do what I do. Right? Now, here's another thing I got to tell you. And this is probably going to be the mic drop moment for you guys. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was telling me, well, that's great. You're like that. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. And I said, okay. Consider this, right? Consider you like meditating and you're trying to eat well, you're supplementing, you're doing this stuff. Consider if you walked into a space and it was actually clean and organized every time, all the time, would you think that would kind of maybe help with your peacefulness and just kind of calmness? The other thing is this, and I'm going to give you two things. One is that if you're not organized in your personal life, if you're not clean here, and I did a live on this, it's not about you having a clean car, having a messy apartment. It's about you being a clean person, which means how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? See, I'm that guy when like I'm not going to name anything, but if she would make the bed and it was crooked, I would remake the bed. If we would go to bed and there was a spoon in the sink, I would rinse it and put it in the dishwasher. I was that guy. And I'm still that guy. Right? So if you're not organized here, where else in your mind are you not organized? Where else in your mind are you not clean? I'm telling you, it is so relatable. And the other thing I gotta tell you is this whole dust. This is my philosophy. You may not agree with it. That's totally cool. But you can take any kind of anything here in my place. You can run your finger. You can give it the white glove test, right? There's no dust, okay? Because again, once a week, I dust. I do what I do, right? Now here's the thing: if you let things dust, okay, if you let things dust, you're like, you know what? Next week, I mean, it's just the dust anyway. See, dust to me means unused. When you don't use something, it collects dust, right? So in my mind is this: if I'm not dusting things, if things are collecting dust, there are other things in my head I'm not using, or in my abilities I'm not using, that are collecting dust. Where else would it start? Your bookshelf. Where else would you dust? You're going to take a duster, go in your head, and start dusting things? Where else would it start? It would start right here. Because you get that muscle trained. I'm telling you, you may not think that way, but you try it. You say, you know what? I'm trying to put my head together. Okay, well, maybe I put my room together too. Maybe that'll contribute to my calmness. Maybe if I dust this off and I clean my fridge, I won't stress so much about what's in there, what's not in there, what do I have to, like. If I set boundaries and say no shoes inside, I've had millionaires come to my home, millionaires in my apartment, millionaires. Shoes off. I don't care. I don't care if you take it personal. I don't care if you're going to go home to mommy and daddy and cry. I don't care if you're not going to sleep that night. I don't care. Those are my boundaries. That makes me feel peaceful. The fact that you go everywhere, public bathroom, and come into my place with those same shoes, and you're here for 2 hours for a get together, and you leave, and I live here, that doesn't make me very peaceful. Therefore, no shoes. Some people have a problem. Great. Truthfully, I've had an 84-year-old go back home because she wouldn't take her shoes off, my mom's friend. There's no ifs, buts, ands, hows. It's just my bound. I told you, some people may think I'm crazy. Okay. But I respect your home when I come to your home. Right? So in my mind, the clean space, the 2, 3, 4 hours. Now, if you can afford it, you give it to somebody to come and do your cleaning. Not only you feed a family, but also you're freeing up your time. Great. But don't let things sit there because thinking, well, I'm not a clean person. No. You like cleanliness, you just choose not to go to the process of cleaning things up. Because when you go to somebody's home, you see it's clean and it's nice and it's neat. You don't say, oh, yuck, this place sucks. No, you appreciate it. Like, oh man, I wish I could be like that. Well, you can. When you come home, don't throw your clothes off in the air like that. Have a basket or hangers. You know what I mean? So it's like you can spend all this time convincing yourself why you're not clean, why it takes forever to clean, why you shouldn't dust, why you shouldn't face the labels, why the stuff on the floor doesn't matter, why the stuff in the garage doesn't matter. You can spend all that time. I just don't spend any of that time because I just don't have any of that. I think it's nicer not to have to worry about that stuff. In fact, It'd be a lot more peaceful. It'll complement what you're doing from the inside. You can't be working from the inside and then your outside looks like crab house. How's that work? How's that work? You're like working on your inside. What are you doing? Man, I'm reading books and I'm attending seminars. You come to your home, it's like a disaster. It's like a tornado went through it. It's like, what? Have you noticed a lot, not all of them, but a lot of the millionaires, billionaires, look at their home. Is it a mess? Or is it everything put together? So you're focusing so much on, oh my goodness, I got to get pledge and use that for wood, versus, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this clean space, this calm space that it gives me. It's like everything else. It's the chore, right? The journey that makes it worthwhile, right? Yeah, they have maids, but I bet you what, they didn't start with maids. You know, they didn't start with maids. And it's like, again, it's like how you are. If you are that way, when you get to that point, you'll have more than one maid because it's such a big house, right? At one point, when I had a 1-bedroom low-income apartment a few years ago, right? Years ago. And it didn't matter. In fact, I cleaned the apartment before I left. Right? It just, they didn't start with maids. They didn't start with chefs, and they didn't start with all this stuff. They cooked themselves, and they said one day when I, you know, most of them, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, now some are really messy too, but most of them, you see their homes, you see their stuff, it's all boom, boom, boom. With their time, with their spirituality, with their family, everything is just, right? Yeah, I mean, hey, you could look at it as I have a 3-story home. It's a lot of work. Or you could say, I'm so blessed to have a lot of work in my 3-story home. Right? Because you could have a 3-story home and no electricity, no water, about to get foreclosed, right? So I went through that, so I know exactly, like, that's why I give you that example, right? So you could say it's a lot of work, or you could say, I'm so blessed to have all this work. Like when I have people over and I have to wash the dishes and stuff, I say I'm so grateful for having all these people that I can actually wash all the dishes I can provide, right? So it's about just flipping the switch about this whole OCD thing, because I know so many people, like so many people love to convince themselves that they're not clean, and they hate cleaning. They're not organized. It's like the same way they say, I'm not a good salesperson. It's like, what? You just sold me. Whatever. So it's like all that stuff, get it aside. If you're really working on the inside and all that stuff, you got to be paying attention to what's going on around you. You really got to pay attention to that stuff. You leave dust on the table, there's other stuff in your mind, in your head, in your toolbox that you're leaving behind, collecting dust. You're not organized here and stuff. Your mind is, it's called the monkey mind, right? We've talked about this with the Stoics. That's what they call it. The monkey mind. It's just jumping from one to another branch, you know. It's not calm. So take a look at OCD a different way. Official cleaning day. That's funny. I love that. That's my comeback to everybody who says you're crazy. It's official cleaning day, man, you know, Saturday. So yeah, for me, it's just, it works for me, right? It works for me. I've never forced it on anyone. I've suggested that, hey, this may be something better, you know. I mean, look, okay, let's say you're a girl, and I didn't want to take this long to go through this, but I'll give you this. Let's say you're a girl, right? And you're gonna go on a first date with this guy, okay? And let's say that you meet at a restaurant, and he comes and gets you, right? He comes and gets you in his car. You open the car, and the car is a mess. He's got a bag of McDonald's Crunch Up, like some fries over there, a little chicken McNugget in the back. You got 2 Coke cups, you know, a couple of T-shirts. Let's say that car is a Mercedes-Benz. How's that make you feel already? Right? How's that make you feel? You're like, dude, you can't even freaking clean your car? You got freaking fries on it. Right? Now, let's say it's not a Mercedes. Let's say it's a nice Honda, right? But you get in the car and it's clean. It's shined. It smells good. Which one makes you feel better? More calm, more relaxed, more safe. You're like, what the hell is this guy gonna pull out of these like bags and stuff, you know? So if that is the case, why wouldn't it be in your immediate space? There's a great message by a Navy SEAL that it says, it starts by making your bed in the morning. I'd watch that on YouTube. It's money, right? So don't be afraid to be clean and organized and all that on the outside, and be proud of it. It's good. People enjoy it. People love it. And I guarantee you, you will too. Give it a try. I promise you. You'll find it'll take you less time. I ain't kidding. Less time being organized, clean, than being a mess. Because you don't think about it anymore. It's every time you look, everywhere you look, it's just organized and clean. It's not like you're spending hours. It's just like you're getting in that routine of just making sure everything stays that way. It's not like you make a mess and then on Saturdays you clean everything up. No, when I take something, I put it right back where it is. I just use that, right? So hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration. Maybe one of my exes will watch this, and that's funny. I've literally had, yeah, I think. There was only one that thought I was really absolutely like nuts. Everybody else kind of chuckled in the beginning, but they're like, that's kind of cool. You are a little extreme. You're a little hard to, but anyway. So now you know. Now you know about my lines on my carpet. I'm famous for them. Like with family, friends, I'm famous. Everybody knows that's what I do. And yeah, so anyway, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. And I can't wait to go back and read all these comments. I did not read one comment, so I'm gonna go back and get back to all the comments. I appreciate you guys. Jenny, you threw me stars again. Thank you. Now I know what they mean. I didn't even know. Thank you. I appreciate that. So if you feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you got to do. Spread the love, tag, share, And yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about this. And if you know anybody who's like an OCD, usually Virgos are 2 sides. One is like the super like organized, clean, and the other one is just like completely the opposite. But usually Virgos qualify for being a nutcase in this scenario. It's usually people say, "Are you?" When you tell them like you're a Virgo and they know astrology, they're like, "Oh." That's like the first reaction. But anyway, hopefully you guys got some love. I'm out of here. Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.